Okay, I'm the executive director of the Anschutz Health and Wellness Center. How many people had a chance to go over and see the center today? Not too shabby, huh? So that's where I get to work every day. How great is that? And what we talk about at the Anschutz Health and Wellness Center is that we transform lives. And we transform lives through wellness. So that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. We hear this term wellness talked about a lot. So what is it, and do you really want it? And so I want to spend a few minutes giving you my thoughts on that. Now, when we developed the Anschutz Health and Wellness Center, our belief was that healthy living should be the default. It should be the easiest option you make. When you make a choice, the healthier choice should be that. And what we're committed to doing is to try to change things that move in that direction. We want to make the healthy choice the preferred choice, the easier choice, and we want to help people make healthy choices to increase their wellness, increase their health. But it's not just about health, it's also about happiness. It's about quality of life. And that's what we're about at the Anschutz Health and Wellness Center. If you didn't get a chance to visit us today, stop by and see. You can walk in anytime. We'll give you a tour. We'll show you some of the things that we do over there. So I really tried to get the center going because it seems to me like we've got a crisis with our lifestyle. Our lifestyles are contributing to disease, they're contributing to poor quality of life. We can look at things like obesity. I study obesity, and to me, obesity is a marker. Obesity isn't the problem, it's a symptom of a lifestyle that's not optimizing your health and happiness. Right behind that is diabetes. Some people see it as a problem in physical activity. Now, we get a little jaded here in Colorado because we're actually one of the states that does this the best. We've been the leanest state for quite some time. We always come out as one of the most physically active states, but we're moving in the wrong direction. Our obesity rates are going up, our physical activity rates are going down. So we can't sit back and say, oh, you know, obesity, diabetes, that's a problem in Mississippi. That's not a problem in Colorado. It is, and we have to do something about it. This leads to all sorts of chronic diseases, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, over and over and over. We're more and more dying from preventable diseases, from lifestyle diseases. And what we want to help people do is to choose those lifestyles that maximize their health and their happiness. So right in the past, we haven't had much success at changing lifestyle. And as someone who I've studied obesity for quite some time. And so for many years, I've been giving people diets. They're really good diets, and exercise programs, and they're really good exercise programs. And yet it's hard to get people to make a sustained change, right? They'll go and do it for a while, and then they'll slip back in their old ways. So at the Anschutz Health and Wellness Center, we've been very interested in not just the what to do, the diet and the exercise is what to do, but also the why and the how. And that's what I want to talk a lot about today, because in the past few years, that's been something I've really learned. It's not just giving people the right kind of things to do, it's helping them actually make those changes to do it. Now, when we opened the Anschutz Health and Wellness Center, I thought we were a prevention center. I said, well, yeah, we're preventing disease. We want to keep people out of the hospital. We know that if I can get you to achieve a healthy lifestyle, I can keep you from getting diabetes, or certainly manage your diabetes better, heart disease, et cetera, et cetera. And clearly that's the case, and obesity is a good marker. If we had no obesity, type 2 diabetes would be a pretty rare condition, heart disease would be down. All these, again, are lifestyle related. But as we really started talking to people at our center, I really wondered, can we really create the culture of health that we want to by focusing on disease? So even though we're focusing on preventing it, we're still focusing on the bad stuff. I'm going to keep you from getting this bad thing and this bad thing and this bad thing. And surprisingly, nobody wants to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the bad stuff. And so we started listening to them. What did they want to talk about? They wanted to talk about the good stuff. They wanted to talk about being able to go out and go for a walk with their grandkids, or maybe climb a 14er, or have more energy to get through the day. And so we talked about prevention is wellness 1.0. Wellness 2.0, and that's negative still. Even though you're focusing on prevention, you're still focusing on preventing the bad stuff. Wellness 2.0 is actually focusing on the good stuff. What's right with you? Okay? You may say it's semantics, but I will tell you, it's a different conversation talking to someone about what's right with them rather than what's wrong with them. So just like you can never be too rich or too thin, you can never be too well. So what we want to help you do is to accumulate wellness. Now, as you're accumulating wellness, you're getting farther and farther from the bad stuff. But you're concentrating on what's right with you, not what's wrong with you. And that has made a big difference for us. So we talk about which way are you facing. Are you facing toward the bad stuff, the premature death, or are you focusing toward the good stuff? So here's the guy up here, he's just miserable, killing himself, running, and everything else. He's not focusing on the good stuff. And here's somebody in a wheelchair who's focusing on the right direction. So it's not where you are. There are a lot of things that happen to you in life that you have no control over. Which way are you going? Are you going toward the positive stuff, or are you worried about going toward the negative stuff? And regardless of where you are, physically or medically, what matters is which way you're going. If you're going for the good stuff or not. So you can have cancer and be more well than someone that has no medical conditions. And the other thing I'm going to tell you a lot, in fact, most of wellness is where? It's up here. And if you get this right, the other stuff will follow. So what is wellness? Well, I think more and more wellness is a process. You never really achieve it where you say, I've made it, I'm well. It's always a process toward working toward wellness. It's the state of being. Illness and health are the tip of the iceberg. What's really important is what's below the surface. And how we manage our energy is a key to achieving wellness. The number one complaint we get from people who come into the Wellness Center is, I don't have enough energy to do the things I want to do. I don't have enough energy to get through the day. I don't have enough energy to do my job well. I don't have enough energy to be a good father or mother or a caretaker. And energy directly relates to wellness. So if you look at the state of your health, it's like the iceberg. That's what's sticking up. But the real interesting stuff is what you can't see. It's your lifestyle, your behavior, your cultural sense, your psychological motivation, and even deep down, your spiritual being or meaning. And as we have looked at changing behavior, what we have understood is we've got to really go below the surface if we want to help people make permanent behavior changes. So people talk about different domains of wellness. There's the spiritual or the meaning, there's the physical, taking care of your body, there's the emotional, there's the intellectual. It really is a holistic process. Now, I wasn't here for Dr. Corbin's talk, but I'm sure she told you how comprehensive and integrative health is. It really is. You can be physically very fit. If you're not fit up here, you're not well, and you're not maximizing either your health or your happiness. So these things all have to come together. When you're well on all these dimensions, and you're balanced. So who needs wellness? Well, do you feel a sense of joy often? If you don't, you probably need to work on your wellness. Do you feel like your life has a meaning? And we're going to come back to that, because I've really become convinced in the past few years that a sense of meaning in life is critical for everything else, and certainly for wellness. Do you feel like you're doing meaningful things with your life? Do you feel like you're living your values? This is one we hear a lot. People will come in and say, the person I am on the outside, that's not who I am on the inside. And we try to help people match up because that means they're not living their values. Do you feel gratitude? Do you enjoy giving? Giving back is one of the biggest, most powerful characteristics of being well. When you're well and you have energy, you really want to give back. So why change your lifestyle at all? Some people come in, well, they want to look better, they want to feel better. Again, a popular one is to have more energy, improve your health, have a healthier family. How do these really help you? Well, it relates to what's important to you in your life. So we talk about 3 steps to wellness, and we call it the what, why, and how. And I spent a good part of my career working on the what, giving people great diets, giving people great physical activity programs. And what I've realized is what we weren't doing so well is working on the why and the how. And without all 3, permanent behavior change is rare and it's difficult to achieve wellness. So let's go through these 3 steps. So what behaviors do you want to change? Well, we look at wellness as a variety of things. If you come over to Anshu's Health and Wellness Center, we'll do a wellness report. We'll actually measure you on all these dimensions. We'll measure you on your physical fitness, your metabolic fitness, we'll measure you on your sleep, your stress, your diet. So, and what we want to see is that you're balanced and you rate high on all these things. So you can be at a healthy weight and you can be eating a healthy diet. If you're not sleeping well, you're not well, I guarantee you. And that feeds back to everything else. It's difficult to maintain an exercise program. It's difficult to maintain a healthy diet if you aren't sleeping well. If you're not managing stress well, and for stress, we actually think stress is a good thing. It's managing stress that's the issue. Stress is growth, but resiliency, bouncing back, managing stress, recovery from stress, that's important. So the more we study wellness, the more we find that these are all connected. And if you are really weak on any one of these, it's going to affect all the others because they're so intertwined. So the first step is kind of deciding which behaviors you want to change. And so what we do with people is to sort of do a wellness report to see where they are, and then we sit down with them and say, okay, here's where you are right now. What do you want to change? Maybe someone needs to lose weight, but they say, you know, I'm not quite ready to lose weight. I want to work on my diet, or I want to work on exercise, or I want to work on stress. So it's a combination of trying to understand where you are in wellness and then working on the things that are important to you. So the first step is deciding which behaviors you want to change. The second step is the why. What is your purpose in life? Now you're saying, what in the world does purpose in life have to do with eating a healthy diet? Everything. Because if you're going to change, if you're going to change any one of those behaviors, you darn well better know why you really want to change it. Okay? We do a lot with weight loss, so I'm just going to use weight loss as an example. And so we get a lot of people who come in and say, well, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to go to my daughter's wedding and fit in a good dress. That's not the why, right? The why is really below that. So we do an exercise we call peeling the onion, which is simple as saying, okay, I want to fit in my daughter's dress. Why do you want to fit in your daughter's dress? Because my ex-husband's there, I want to look good. Why is it important to look good? And so if you peel the onion, what you get at the end is very close to what's really important to you, what's really important in your life. Because this is your motivation for change. And if you understand what your real motivation for change is, it really helps you find the will to go forward and to be motivated. So it's finding that right kind of motivation. And doing this is not easy. We do this oftentimes, and we get people who come in and they're just so frustrated. Oh my God, I can't find my purpose. I've tried, I've thought, I just can't find it. And it's a process. Some people in 5 minutes, boom, I got it. Some people it will take them a while to figure it out. And again, it's not a contest to see how quickly you can get there. It's a process to figuring out what's really important. It takes introspection. And there are a lot of tools and techniques to help you with this. You can go out and there's some neat little programs. You can Google them or find them on the internet that sort of guide you through helping you find your purpose. It's an exercise well worth doing, because if you want to make any of these serious behavior changes, you better know why you're doing that. One of my colleagues does this. Take out a blank sheet of paper or a word processor, write at the top, what's my true purpose? Write any answer that pops into your head. Think about it and repeat it until you find that answer that makes you cry. And that's your purpose. But the idea is it's digging deep. It's finding something that when you find it, it feels right and honest. And it may or may not be something you want to share with people. Doesn't matter. What matters is you know why you need to change. You know why you want to change your behavior or become well. So here's some examples. A mission or a purpose. Some people call it a mission. We call it a purpose. I will seek to learn, for learning is the basis of growth. Growing is the key to living. I want to influence the future development of people and organizations. I'm going to teach my children and others to love, laugh, and learn. I'll build personal, business, and civic relationships by giving in frequent ways. It really is, why are you here? What is it that you want to accomplish? And if you can get to this, then you can get to the motivation for making behavior changes. Now, what's really interesting is science is now beginning to catch up. And there are a whole slew of studies that show when people are in touch with their purpose, all kinds of interesting things happen. Reduced incidence of stroke in older adults, in those that knew their purpose. Reduced risk of heart attacks. Increased better treatment for drug abuse, lower risk of Alzheimer's, increased sexual enjoyment in midlife women. Now, who doesn't want these things, right? These are great. So finding your purpose has now been shown with some rigorous scientific studies to really lead to some positive health outcomes. And what we found is absolutely critical to making permanent behavior change around lifestyle. What this really allows you to do is to align your behavior with your purpose. And again, back to this thing that we hear over and over, the person I am on the outside is not who I am on the inside. I'm not living the life that's really me on the inside. And when you really figure out what it is on the inside that's important to you, then what we try to help you do is align your behaviors so they're consistent with that inner purpose and value. And that's what we find in people that score high on wellness. Their behaviors link very much back to their values. And the other thing is purpose relates to energy and wellness. When you're well, you have more energy. And that relates to having a purpose. So all these are connected. Having a purpose affects your wellness, affects your energy, and so it's kind of a circle. And in there, purpose is so very critical. So we use this in all of our programs, weight loss and behavior change. We start with having people understand what it is that's important to them, and that links to why they want to change their behavior. The third step is getting the right mindset. This is the how. So now you've decided which behaviors you want to change. You've linked that to your purpose or your inner value. How do you do that? How do you change behavior? And mindset is a whole set of strategies that we help you use to do that. One example is in weight loss. We oftentimes get people coming into our programs and they're saying, okay, I'm going to sign up for your program, but I know it isn't going to work, and I know I'm going to hate your diet, and I don't really like to exercise. I don't think it's going to work for me. Well, guess what? It ain't going to work for you with that kind of attitude. So switching your attitude, you can actually teach people to be positive. Many other things like resiliency, stress management. Again, everything you do, there's going to be stress involved. And one of my colleagues talks about every now and then, you're gonna get caught in the swamp. And the question is how you come out of that swamp. We're all going to get caught in it. Question is, are you resilient? Can you get out of it and get back on track? Sleep is a big important part in the behavior change. Americans have a lot of disordered sleep issues, poor quality of sleep. And now we know that sleep is related to diet, it's related to physical activity. So if you're not sleeping well, it becomes much, much harder to make a change in behavior. Gratitude is important. And we use pay it forward technique in that if you come through our programs, we're going to help you improve your wellness, and in turn, we expect you to go out and help other people. And guess what? It helps other people, but it also helps you getting out there paying it forward. Accountability, willpower. Willpower is an interesting one because we see willpower kind of like a muscle. It gets tired if you use it a lot. And an example is you go into work and you get up in the morning, boy, you're really ready to go. You're just ready to do all the right things, and then you go into work and your boss yells at you and your spouse calls you up and something's a problem and the kids have all this and that, and by the end of the day, you've used up all your willpower. So you're meant to come home and cook a healthy meal, but you say, to heck with it, I've had such a bad day, I'm going to order a pizza, because your willpower is gone. And so one of the keys to behavior change is helping people deal with that, helping people understand that that's going to happen. And just like a muscle can get stronger, your willpower can get stronger, and we can help you show how to do that. So that's another way of the how. And then the environment, both the physical and the social environment. And so, again, use weight loss as an example. So if you're at home in the evening, it's probably you're going to get hungry and want a snack. Guess what? You're going to eat something that's in your house. You may get up and go out, but you're not likely to. So if you've got reasonable stuff around your house, that's probably what you're going to eat. So it's taking time to make sure your physical environment is conducive to your behavior change, but also your social environment. A lot of research shows that you tend to behave around the people you hang out with. It's not a shocker, right? So again, as people are trying to lose weight, we have them take a look at their social group. Are you hanging out with people that value exercise, that value healthy eating? And oftentimes they're not. And so what we try to do, this is a little tricky now, so we don't tell you to get rid of your friends or your family, but we try to help you create social groups that are doing more of the right things. So in some of our groups, we force people to go out and join a cooking class, a hiking group, something. And as adults, it's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to go out and make new friends, oftentimes at our ages. But it's very important, if you're maintaining a new set of behaviors and you're around people that are doing all the wrong behaviors, that's not going to work very well. You've got to surround yourself a lot of the time with the people that are doing the behaviors you want to do. Positivity is a very important thing for us. People say, if I see it, I'll believe it. We believe that, but we believe the opposite too. If you believe it, you will see it. And there is this sense of going into this sort of behavior change with the belief that you're going to succeed. And positivity is a whole range of emotions: love, hope, joy, amusement, gratitude. Again, a lot of research here. Barbara Fredrickson is someone who's done a lot of research there, showing that positivity is associated with so many health outcomes. So we're really beginning to bring good science to all these behavior change techniques. So gratitude, dealing with stress, sleep, inspiration, believing in something big and impossible. We have a lot of people who come into our weight management programs and they need to lose 200 pounds. And it's like, oh my God, that's just so impossible. I can't ever take on that big of achievement. And yet we see people who actually do it. So you have to believe in something big and believe that you're going to get there. They don't get there overnight, but a lot of them do get there. To change your behavior, you have to get out of your comfort zone. So one of the things that we work on is helping you get uncomfortable, because it's out of your comfort zone where growth happens. And none of us like that. We don't like to get out of our comfort zone because it is a comfort zone. We feel good there, but that's not where growth happens. Growth happens outside that. So a lot of our programs will put you in situations to intentionally make you uncomfortable and to deal with that. Let's get that. So I wanted to give you an example of what I've been talking about with weight loss. Again, it applies to every behavior. It's just that weight loss is something we do, and we've got more success with that than some of the other programs. So we have become probably the best place around for weight loss. We have several different programs, and what makes us ahead of the game is simply that we don't just concentrate on the what, we concentrate on the how and the why, and that's made a big, big difference. So some of you may know that we hooked up with a reality television show. Again, I never thought I would be in the reality television business, but Extreme Weight Loss is a weight loss show. So there are two big weight loss shows. Biggest Loser, which is more of a contest, who can lose the most weight, and you get voted off if you don't. Extreme Weight Loss takes people that are very overweight and they put them through a 1-year transformation process. So there's no winner, there's no loser. If you've seen the show, each show is one person's journey through a 1-year transformation. And this just fits so well with what we're doing. And, unfortunately, it's television, and you can't see everything that goes on. I will tell you, a big part of the change that occurs is up here. We work with psychology, we work with all these processes that I've talked about, and the outcome is amazing. So this is 2 seasons ago. These are the contestants, the before and after contestant. And I'll point out, look at their weight, but also look at their facial expressions. I mean, these people, when they came into our place, were miserable. And every one of them felt like their life was in the toilet. And at the end, every single one of them basically said, life is fabulous. And if you ask them, the best thing about it, probably 80% of them won't say weight loss as the best thing about it. They will say, I have a totally different approach to life. Here are some others in that first season. Overall, these people lost almost half of their body weight, 47% of their body weight. But the biggest change was here. They changed their relationships. They changed how they worked. It's just so amazing to see how they approached life better. They became well. Yes, they lost weight, but they became well. And most people who come to us want to lose weight. They don't really want all the other stuff. In fact, sometimes if we told them what we gave them, they would probably say, no, I don't want that. I just want weight loss. But at the end, most people get it. Most people understand their problem wasn't weight. Weight was a symptom of their problem. And their problem is that they weren't well. And what we work on is comprehensive wellness. So again, our weight management philosophy, just like our total behavior change philosophy, is you have to work on the body, the mind, and the environment. It doesn't work to just do one. We can get the weight off, but without working on the other stuff, you're not going to keep it off. So in Extreme Weight Loss, they spent 3 months in Denver. So they were at our place every day for 3 months. And then they went home and they had their trainer and the cameraman and everything. So people say, well, that's not reality. Nobody can do that. So we tried to develop a program that took the best of both worlds. And this is a program we've been doing for a year now with tremendous success. We call it Destination Boot Camp. We actually have one happening next week. People come from all over the country to Denver for 1 week. Okay? Extreme folks come for 3 months. These folks come for 1 week, and they come in groups, usually groups of about 15. And during that 1 week, we work on the who, the what, how, and why. And I'm amazed at the level that you can get these groups to coalesce in 1 week. Then what happens is they go home all over the country, and they engage us virtually by video conferencing the rest of the year. They're in the same group, They're with the same instructors through the year. And the success of this has just been phenomenal. And part of the success is how the groups have really bonded. These people get together on weekends, they fly all over the country, they become each other's support system. And they bring a lot of those characteristics I told you before. Not just support, they're accountable. That when the people in the group laughs, the rest of the group really comes down on them. I mean, it becomes this thing, and these people tell us that these people in this group will be close friends for life. They just share so much. And so Destination Boot Camp, we have in October is our 1 year. We did 120 people, which was crazy, last October. So they're all coming back this October for their 1 year. And the weight loss has just been phenomenal. But I guarantee you that most of them will feel like weight loss wasn't the thing they got out of this. We've just really seen some major transformations. We have our other weight loss program is Stay to Slim, which is based on a book that Holly Wyatt and I wrote, which has these same concepts about motivation and mindset. And so we run weight loss groups here at the center. We probably did 1,000 people last year through these weight loss groups. And again, I've been doing weight loss for 35 years, and these programs are producing more weight loss and more improvements in wellness than any programs we've done before. And it's again because we brought the whole thing together. We brought all these parts of wellness, not just focusing on weight. And we're applying that now to other things. I told you about obesity. We're applying that to cancer, to diabetes, to heart disease, to fitness. Any group that needs to change behavior, these same principles apply. And those of you who are over at the center heard about our program. You just heard about a previous program with one of the previous speakers, but we're doing the same thing where we're opening exercise programs for cancer survivors. And we started this out, we've been doing it probably about 1.5 years. When we started it out, we were struggling to get 1 or 2 people. And this has become so popular that we now really have a waiting list. And what my goal is over the next year is to expand it from exercise to these other components of wellness, sleep and resiliency and these other things. So you have no control over whether you have cancer or not. You do have a control over your wellness. How well can you be given that you're working on this issue, and that's a negative issue, but you have a chance to work on something that's very positive. And then we want to be able to bring research to this, because I believe that by working on wellness and something positive, I think we're actually going to have a positive impact on disease progression as well. So we're very excited about being able to take this, it's really a behavior change program, a wellness program, and being able to approach it to various disease states, but also we're getting more and more people who come and they just want to increase their wellness. They don't have diabetes or cancer, but they want more wellness and they want more energy. So we hope to be out on the leading edge. We hope to get our programs to be even better, but we have a lot of things going on, and we would love it if you come by and talk to our folks and see the various programs that we have and see if there's anything over there that interests you. So we've got a great facility, a great team, and what we're committed to do is to help people be the best they can be, achieve a lifestyle, maximizes not just health, but happiness. Thank you. Questions?
Talk about what you're doing with the geriatric senior population. Let's go a little broad, maybe over 55, and then comment on how purpose is related to motivation, behavior change with them.
Yeah, so we actually think that's a fabulous group, because that's the group that actually has time. I mean, if you look at, the 30 and 40 somethings, life is so crazy. You got kids and jobs and everything else. Not that they don't need wellness, but when we get a little bit of an older population, boy, they have some time, they have some life experiences, they've tried a lot of things that don't work. One of the things that we're seeing, and this is just really interesting to me, we're getting people who come to us and say, I'm getting ready to retire, and I want to make sure I'm in good enough shape to enjoy my retirement. In other words, they don't want to sit on the couch. They want to get out and travel and hike and bike. And oftentimes it'll be a couple, and one of them will be in really good shape, and the other one is saying, you know, I'm not going to be able to keep up unless I really get in shape. And that relates back to the purpose. So more and more people in retirement, they're at the point of their life saying, you know, I'm retiring, I may have 30 more years to live. It's time to take stock of what I want to do with those next years. So it's a great example of where purpose is a huge motivator there. So we hope to do more and more with seniors. And again, our goal is not to solve problems. Our goal is to keep you well. We want to promote healthy aging. We want to help you be as healthy and well. And this is Colorado, so you need to be climbing those 14ers and continuing to hike right into your 80s and 90s. So we think that's a great target audience for us. Anything else? Yes, yeah.
So how do we sign up for those programs?
So a couple of ways. Our website is AnschutzWellness.com. And you can stop over and you can come in and you can say, tell me about your programs. You can go on the website, AnschutzWellness.com. It gives an overview of our programs. Or you can call up, or you can come in and just say, tell me about your programs. And we'll give you a tour and we'll show you different programs.
And can we do this long distance, like from northern Colorado?
Yeah, well, again, right now, with the exception, the weight loss programs are virtual, so we can do those everywhere. The other programs involve coming here, but there are options, so we can customize a program for you. We've had a lot of people who come to Denver for a week or 2 weeks and really go through an intensive wellness program. So we can customize a program for you. So you can talk to some of our wellness specialists. You don't have to know what you want. You can come in and say, hey, I just kind of want to change some things up, wanted to talk to you, wanted to get some advice. You don't have to know exactly what you want when you come in.
Does insurance cover any of this therapy?
Oh, that's the bugaboo, isn't it? I can get paid to treat your disease, but not to prevent it. Isn't that crazy? Most of the time, no. Some of the weight loss stuff is covered, but that's the problem. The problem is that the things we're doing that get you well and move you away from disease, unfortunately, aren't covered in most cases. So we are trying to work with insurers. We're trying to push that limit over here, but unfortunately, that's the downside, is a lot of our stuff has to be paid out of pocket.
There are some life insurance companies that will actually help cover wellness, believe it or not, in your life insurance policy.
And there's sometimes you can use flex dollars and so forth, so there are some ways to get around it. But my goal in life is to get it so that you get reimbursed for taking care of yourself, not waiting until you get a disease.
If you're a patient, a cancer patient here in this facility, you automatically are enrolled, if you so choose, to a three-month program. You might expand on that, because I had to do that on myself. And so hopefully the knowledge through the medical community, both radiology, oncology, infusion, you will be promoting this more, because it's a fabulous program for those of us who
So we have a program where we bring people over for the exercise. The problem is right now we're at capacity, so there's a little bit of a waiting list. But the idea is I would love to offer that to every single cancer patient over here, because I think it would be a help. So we're trying to figure out how to expand that and how to make it longer term. So we're working on it. But I will tell you, the demand is really there. So we're onto something. We'll make it better. We will work to figure out the finances. Believe me, I lose sleep at night because of that. So we're trying everything we can. But we got a crazy healthcare system when you can't get reimbursed for taking care of yourself. And we're going to get there eventually. Well, thank you guys very much. I hope you've enjoyed the day. We're so appreciative of you coming out. Thank you.